President and his team is doing great work and creating benchmark not only in Zone 9, but also in JCI India through programs and other works in spite of COVID situation. COVID pandemic have created a limited possibility of doing programs, but JCI Nagpur Medico have done and doing programs in this tough time by walking extra miles, providing benefits to its member and society at large. I do understand the problem and situation of medical professions, as I am also a part of this industry. President and member of JCI Nagpur Medico is taking out time from their busy schedules for society and by achieving mission and vision of JCI India. Congratulations and best of luck for your future programs. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected. Thank you, President ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words for our whole team and motivating us. It was really kind of you. Like I shared that Anuradha is a consultant physiotherapist, and to know more about our today's faculty, I would like to invite JC Sagarika.
Thank you, ma'am. It said that let's lead a life of learning at every step and help others to do the same. Be kind and be courageous, because change doesn't happen overnight and cannot be done without mind's might. A believer and follower in these lines, I would take the pleasure to introduce our today's faculty, Dr. Anuradha Puniyani ma'am. As a leader, she held several posts in various organizations. She was Junior JC President in 2017-18, President of Rotaract Club VSPM Physios 2018 and 19, District ISD and Editor 2019-20. As a narrator, she has won several awards and prizes as a seasoned public speaker and debater. Invitee speaker at Vidarbha Student Parliament 2019. She was amongst the top 10 speakers of Maharashtra Times Speak for India 2019. As a physiotherapist, she is founder director at Best Foot Forward. Graduated in Bachelor's of Physiotherapy with 12 honors in 2019. Published and placed first for the State Level Research Conference 2020. She works as a consultant physiotherapist at Radhakrishnan Hospital, Nagpur, with the vision to build the world that can be on its own, driven to work and be passionate to enjoy this festival called life. I welcome Dr. Anuradha ma'am to guide us today.
Thank you so much, Sagarika, for the wonderful introduction. And now, Anuradha, I think we are all set to listen to you and all about the good posture, bad posture. So over to you, the screen is all yours. Before just going ahead, I would like to thank our chief guest, Devesh Patel, sir, for being here and guiding us. And sir, we request you to kindly stay back with us for the lecture. Thank you so much. Over to you, Anuradha.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me here. And Sagarika, that was a beautiful introduction that you spoke. I'll quickly share my screen so that we can begin.
Yes.
All right. I hope this is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, great. Fine. So today we're talking about something that has concerned all of us. Because of the sudden lockdown, nobody was prepared and nobody really knew how to deal with situations. If you had to work from home, everything all of a sudden turned online. Nobody would have imagined that we would support online learning, especially when our parents, our teachers would keep demoting the use of screens and mobiles and laptops at a time when technology was pacing forward and all of us were trying to catch up to it. And our teachers were insistent on going offline for teaching. And now they are forced to take up this medium for learning. And even for other purposes, even on jobs, when people used to say that they wanted a leave, they'll do their work from home, and they would not be granted that leave, saying work from home was not that effective. But this has actually rendered us into a situation where we have to deal with it, right? So there have been so many implications of this lockdown on as a shift in this work-study culture that we see very commonly right now. Let's quickly move ahead and see the basic transitions that we've seen during this lockdown. That is a huge shift to digital mediums. Now we can see a lot of people buying these technological devices, be it tabs, laptops. Every day we see these posts that I bought something new, right? Why has this happened is because everyone has turned to online consultations, presentations, work from home, webinars, Our organizations themselves have been starting to broadcast webinars so that learning does not stop, right? But like I said, we entered into this digital medium and we were not prepared on ways how to deal with it. See, all through our lives, we've been told कि आगे ऐसा होने वाला है, हमें इसके लिए prepared रहना है. But nobody knew this was coming, right? जैसे हर कोई storm के पहले में थोड़ा preparation कर लेते हैं, right? But we did not have the time to acknowledge ourselves about this fact that this is going to come. So we kept emphasizing the importance of posture throughout our childhood. Constantly, हमारे teachers, हमारे parents, Indian families में this has been very common that people keep nagging themselves about the posture. Parents ही बोलते रहेंगे कि don't sit like that, sit properly, sit straight. So this is a very good point, but kids being kids, they like to being rebels. So they do not listen. But these have their long-term implications, right? So as a physiotherapist, I have been receiving a lot of patients, a lot of calls for this particular thing, that is upper back and lower back pain, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys also must be having this, right? Do put in a yes if you have that, and we'll look into it a little later in the presentation, right? Then there is this one thing that is called as the text neck syndrome. We have been discussing this a lot. Okay, I see something here. Yeah. Yes, so we see a few people saying upper back and lower back pain. Yes, I keep getting these complaints when people are like, हम बहुत देर से बैठे थे, बहुत देर तक screen देख रहे थे, and you tend to pick up postures where you don't realize what posture you've taken up until it starts paining, है ना? And that leads to text neck syndrome. Then there's one more thing that we discuss. That is the most unseen thing and easily ignored, that is the postural problems, okay? And this has a lot of long-term implications. Like I said, we just see the pain, we don't see the cause, right? So as you can see right here, it is just the tip of the iceberg that you see, that is your postural pain. But what is giving rise to this pain is your postural habits, okay? Since childhood, बहुत सारे लोगों के ऐसे habits बन जाते हैं which tend to, you tend to carry your bag on one of your shoulders. That is a habit. You tend to sit in a particular way. That is your habit, okay? And all of these habits lead to your postural habits, which will decide what kind of conditions you will face later in your life. So it is always better that you catch this in the younger age. But even in these times, when all of us are adapting to the digital era, and all of us are quite young, like just 20s, 30s ki bhi age mein, we are getting these symptoms and problems which usually would come after 40 to 50 years, right? Like most of our parents deal with cervical spondylosis. So these conditions when they're in the age of 50s or 60s, that too with constant repetitive work. And they did not have a work profile which took up a lot of use of their upper back and neck, and still they have it. So just imagine, with all of these habits that we have, constant use of mobile and laptops and a constant neck posture, imagine how quicker it is going to be to get these conditions into our generation. Okay. So let's have a quick review of where does this pain arise from. Okay. We were just talking about the pain due to the digital medium, right? So we categorize this pain into two categories, all right? The first one being due to postures, and the second one being due to injuries or some previous condition. Like a lot of people have these past accidents that they've had, because of which that trauma stays, and maybe that place has not healed properly, and that can lead to the increased pain. But that is rare, okay? But majority cases mein, pain is due to a faulty posture, and I'm pretty sure most of you will agree to this. बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग होते हैं जिनकी आदत होती है कि एक फुट हम अंदर रख के चलते हैं, या दोनों फुट ऐसे ट्विस्टेड रखते हुए चलने की आदत होती है, right? So you don't distribute your weight equally, right? You realize this, but you don't act on it. Okay, fine. So that is what we talk about as our postural pain. Like I said, 2/3 of the population of 18 to 28 years, that's a very young age, will have pains related to the postures. Okay, and this postural pain is easily ignored. And then overall, when you turn 30, 40, that is the time when these postural pain then turn into severe problems. And that is when you realize that I should have worked on my posture previously. All right. Which is why I always say that posture is something very easily underestimated and ignored. People tend to think कि ये 2 दिन में बहुत easily relieve हो जाएगा, अभी क्यों कुछ इस पे सोचना है. But सोचना है, इसके cause पे सोचना है, ये सोचना है कि ये correct कैसे हो. Okay, which is why I always stress on this thing that you have to have a correct observation. Your observation will lead you to a good diagnosis when you can judge what exactly is the problem that is causing pain to you. Okay, because unless we know the underlying cause, we cannot move ahead. Fine, you tend to ignore it unless you know the cause. Fine, once you know it, you observe it. People tell you about it. Maybe you visit a professional, okay, and they will tell you further new ways how you can work on it. And that is how you can correct your habit. A lot of people tell to me कि हम YouTube पे देखे थे कि posture ऐसे correct करना था, फिर उसको हमने try किए. लेकिन एक point यहाँ पे आता है जिसको हम बोलते हैं adherence. Okay, that is how long do you stick to it. A lot of people say कि हमने 14 days regularly किया था, फिर उसके बाद में हम भूल गए. Which is another reason why your habit is not coming into your everyday use. Unless you do that, your posture will be still in the very same place where you began with. Now, bringing to some daily examples right now, post-COVID era, या जो COVID era अभी भी चल रहा है, even after this lockdown ends and everything opens up, we will still be using masks as a protective measure. Now, not a lot of people observe this, but when you are wearing your mask, this peripheral vision of your eye is little hindered, okay? And which is why observe this, okay? I'm telling this so that you observe it and you correct it in your daily routine, okay? So whenever you're wearing your mask, you tend to bend a little more from your neck, especially people who are at their desk jobs, typing something or writing out something, CA people, the accounts people, okay, even doctors, consultants who are going out in the field and working, right? So what you have to do is you have to make sure that every 5-10 minutes you remind yourself that you have to look up, just maybe relax your neck a little bit and then get back to work. Okay, so that is one thing that you can do, because the more you keep your neck in a bent position, it is bound to give you tight muscles over here. Okay, one more example that we have is because this thing I received a lot, this complaint I've received a lot, that I've been lying down for hours together, be it watching movies, playing games. Everyone lies down on the bed in abnormal postures and really awkward, weird postures. Like we can really click pictures and send it to each other and send memes about it. But those are the kind of postures which are really harming you. Then you land up with pain and you call up your physiotherapist and they will tell you the first thing to do is to correct your posture. All right. After this, we come to the basic thing that is working from home and online teaching. Right? So it has been harmful to both the teachers as well as students. At the most, what we can do is minimize this effect with the help of good postures. So where does this pain begin? Moving a little deeper into postural pain. Okay, the first thing, like I said, is muscle weakness. अब जब भी हम कोई posture attain करते हैं, उसकी वजह से कुछ muscles overwork हो जाती है, तो इसीलिए वो tight हो जाती है. For example, in our neck, okay, supposing you are constantly using your phone, okay, the muscles right here, okay, these muscles which you are using to keep your neck bent, they get tight. Whereas those muscles which were meant to take the load of your skull, the skull is very heavy, we underestimate it, okay, so it was meant to be transferred to the spine with the help of some other muscles which were there in our upper back, piche. Okay, now because we are not using those muscles, wo muscles khali बैठी है, so they get weak. Okay, so understand this paradigm. There are two things that are affecting this. One is your tight muscles, which are right here in the front, and second is your weak muscles in the upper back. Okay, ideally, वो muscles ने strong रहना चाहिए था, इसको relaxed रखना था. This was not meant to work this way, right? We are humans. We've adapted this posture over a long period of time, millions and billions of years it took us to stand erect, right? And now we are going back into this. Fine. So our body is not meant to take this load of skull right in the front of our neck. It is meant to be transferred to the spine. और वहां की मसल्स वीक हो रही है, उनकी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेच हो रही है वो मसल्स. They're not meant to be that. Whereas ये जो muscles हैं in the front, they are getting tighter and they're losing their flexibility, which is why you need to perform some simple stretches. This is creating a muscle imbalance, right? So somewhere वो खिंच रहा है जहां नहीं खिंचना चाहिए और जहां पे strong रहना चाहिए वो weak है. So imagine this being pulled up like this. Okay, so you're forever in this posture, and which is why this leads to serious conditions of cervical spondylosis and disc issues. Right, so as you can see right here, like we were discussing, these muscles are weak and those in the front are weak. Okay, these are getting tight and these are getting tight. All right, iski wajah se kya hua? We call this as the upper cross syndrome. What should be equally balanced has been led into a muscle imbalance, and this is the major cause of your postural pain, which will ultimately progress into a kyphosis. Kyphosis का मतलब ऐसे समझो कि एक पूरी curved spine हो गई है. Okay, so this is the long-term implication of not correcting your posture at the right time. And trust me, this is really the time to tell your children to sit straight while they use their telephones, their screens or their mobiles, laptops, anything. This is the right time. Because once you do this, they will remember it for a long period of time. जैसे हम बच्चों को कुछ alphabet सिखाते हैं, वैसे ही उनको ये ABCDs of posture भी सिखा दिए. So I'm pretty sure they'll remember this for a very long time. Okay, let's move on. So coming back to our question on how to fix this hunchback, right? You can see this very cute fella out here who is in the nature trying to explore, but he has a hunchback. So we don't want that, right? So we have some simple preventive solutions on how you can go about to prevent this hunchback. क्योंकि सबसे पहला measure है prevention. उसके बाद में we come to treatment, right? Definitely, we cannot emphasize on this enough that you have to adopt a good posture. We'll be looking into the good posture in the next slide, right? As I said, take breaks. Every single time you're working, remind yourself in 10-15 minutes whenever you, I'm pretty sure जब कुछ काम करते रहते हैं, notification बजता है, तो you pick up your phone, right? तो जब वो notification बजता है, let that be your reminder that you have to change your posture. It keeps ringing in 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes every single time, right? So you can just remind that, use that as a reminder to check if you have been in that posture for a very long time. That will help you. Next is keep moving, walk. Post अब जो हमने पूरा lockdown देख लिया है, a lot of people have been very inactive. They've been sitting around. Even during lockdown, I was recommending people to walk at least 6,000 to 7,000 steps, but laziness is laziness. I understand. So now we've seen that your lung capacities are not that efficient as it used to be pre-lockdown. Okay, now you have to start getting to work. You have to start moving around. But before you do that, you must start walking. Small steps, because suddenly if you start walking, एक tiredness feel होगी. Even if you work for 3 hours, 4 hours at a maximum stretch, you'll still feel tired as if you've worked for the entire day. Okay, so to prevent that and to prolong your hours of working, walk. First step is to walk. Next is your preventive measure, major, most important, probably your take back from this presentation will be your workstation stretches, which applies to all ages, including children, adolescents, and adults. Okay, what happens in workstation stretches is simple exercises while you are sitting in this very, like supposing you are working, your child is watching a video online, supposing some school lecture is going on. In between that, simple 2-minute exercises with simple repetitions that can help you prevent these postural problems. Okay, and lastly, observe. If you really care for the people around you, if you think that they should not land up with such postural pains, observe for yourself, for the people around you. There's no harm in nagging people to stay straight, okay, to adopt a good posture. because physiotherapists, doctors, they cannot be around every single time to tell you to sit straight. And even your grandparents, your parents cannot be there all the time. So just make it into a good habit or maybe a good work culture where you tell each other to sit straight, to adopt a good posture so that you don't land up with severe problems. So now, as I was saying, the good posture and the bad posture. As you can see here, most of us, while we work, we're sitting on a chair. Even we recommend that our children should sit on a chair while they watch the lectures. Even teachers who are giving their lectures, they sit on the chair, right? So this is the primary hub, work hub at our place, right? So what you can do here, the first thing is you should see the screen, the inclination of the screen. You see that? Keep it at a place where you have it at eye level. The first thing that you can do here, okay? Second, if you notice here, look at the position of the foot. Okay, your foot has to be straight. I agree कि हर 5 minutes में you feel like changing your position. So you can shift it a little behind for say 1 minute and then again keep it back in its place. Okay, because we tend to underestimate the position of our foot. Okay, because a lot of time what happens is we say कि पैर ऐसे रखने से क्या हो गया? Unnecessary हमारे parents हमको बोलते हैं, teachers बोलते हैं, sit straight. See, even foot position has major impact on your knee. All right, how your knee will function in the later life, because those ligaments are not going to tolerate a lot of that stress. And yes, there are hundreds of cases. I'm pretty sure some of your relatives must have undergone some or the other surgery to replace those ligaments, and some ACL tear or some ligament problem must have been witnessed by some of your relatives, right? So prevent that. Even your foot position matters in stressing your knee, okay? So which is why we come back on this posture, okay? So see this angle. Okay, the next thing we talk about is our spine. This is a neutral spine posture, but most importantly, if you observe, this person has taken support. It has to be a double support, okay? It has to be the lumbar support also. And see, this one is not supported. Upper back भी supported चाहिए और lumbar support भी चाहिए. ये दोनों चीजें equally important है. Why? Supposing if you sit in a tilted manner, supposing आपने upper back को भी support कर दिया है, lower back को support नहीं किया. So what happens is you tend to take up a posture in which you're going to sit in an inclined way. Then again, you have to bend your neck. And that will be a really awkward posture. So it'll be a twice damage, in fact. Okay, so one way your neck is also getting tighter and the other way down, your back is not supported. Again, वहाँ पे abdominals weak होते जाएंगी और वो muscles tight होती जाएगी. Okay, so again, this is going to lead a lot of problems. So it is better. You can do one thing, you can take a screenshot of this picture right here, just to remind you on which is a good posture and which is a bad posture. So when you look at this picture, you will remember what are the things that you have to do to adopt a good posture. So what you can do today is evaluate your workspace, okay? Wherever you sit, wherever you are working, even whenever your children are attending the class, or if you are taking a class as a teacher, analyze it, all right? Avoid taking up positions on the bed, because first thing, psychological effect uska alag rehta hai. I understand you want to feel relaxed, but if you're taking up a position on your bed, you are bound to be more chilled out, right? We don't want that. We want you to be more serious. Effective work though, and then you can relax, right? So try adopting a more erect posture on your workplace. Analyze it कि कितना हम उसको support कर सकते हैं. I agree, some of you might not have these things with you available right now, but try arranging. See what you can do to help yourself support these places. Now you know what exactly things you need to support, right? You need to support your back. You need to place your foot in the right position. One more thing you need to observe is, as you can see here, iska position dekho ye, right? This is not right. एक proper height भी रहना important है, from the floor to where you sit, right? So you should be able to arrange or maybe change this height to a good proportion according to your height, okay? So that your knee is placed at an inclination like this. Not very straight, but not very far off also, where you have to keep it on your toes, okay? Now coming to workstation stretches, I'm genuinely asking you to take a screenshot right now, because this is the thing that you should do at your workplace. Very simple stretches. As you can see, the first one It is going to help you relax your neck as well as stretch out your nerves and all of your muscles right here on the upper limb, right? Next, this one is a very specific stretch right on your neck, okay? Where you place your hand like this, even if you don't do it without your hand support, that's also okay. Simply you place your hand and you stretch it on either side, okay? You hold it. All of these stretches, try to hold them for at least 15 seconds and perform them thrice. And if they are on one side, then each side, okay? Then the third one, as you can see, this person is very jolly doing this exercise because it is a very freeing exercise. हमको बहुत relaxed लगता है इस exercise से. Most of us tend to do this जब बहुत झुक के देखते हैं तो we tend to simply shrug, है ना? But shrug करते time थोड़ा सा modification ये करना है. Just leave your elbows straight on the side, okay? Like this person has done. Simply raise it up and down. You can do this as many times as you like, but 10 is the minimum requirement, okay? Then we come to this one. Now this guy is simply taking his hand up and stretching himself on one side, right? Hold it there for 15 seconds, come back to your neutral position, and then you go to the other side, right? And again, we have to do this thrice on each side. Then coming to this one, wherein we are doing this namaste pose that we do, बस इसको थोड़ा overstretch करके पूरे wrist के जो भी हमारे muscles है, उसको वहां से stretch करना है. Okay, so make sure that when you are doing this, you stretch it this way. Okay, similarly इसको हम उल्टा भी कर सकते हैं, वहां displayed नहीं है, but you can do it this way also. Okay, because this will help you relax out all the tension in your wrist muscles while you type, while you write. So this will help you to prevent those postural writer's cramps that we have. Okay, next thing that we do here is simple thoracic rotations. बैठे बैठे ही करना है, इसको खड़े खड़े करोगे तो you might do some other exercise. So it is always recommended कि आप ये बैठ के करो. Okay, simply twisting. Okay, you twist around for 15 times on each side, and then you can go back to the next exercise. All right, now this one is mostly just to relieve and make your knees alive. Okay, because we have not been moving a lot. So just straighten up your knee and keep it down back. Okay, this will help you to get back to work once you have to start moving around. A lot of you people have to walk a lot in your profession. So after this gets over, you have to keep your knees ready, because these muscles जो हमने बहुत time तक use नहीं किए, they tend to get deconditioned. Okay, जो चीज हम use नहीं करते हैं, वो weak हो जाती है. Right? We've understood this concept by now. So even the muscles of your knees will get weak over a period of time if you have not been using them a lot. So this is a good time, a good opportunity for you people to start working on your knees, okay? So that you don't end up with different problems post-lockdown. Now coming to the fixing problem part, okay? The major part where if you already have a hunchback or if you're experiencing pain in your lower back, this is one exercise that you should do, okay? So this is called as bridging. Now, if you have already been diagnosed with some problem like slip disc or some other disc problem, do consult your physiotherapist before you go ahead with these exercises. But this is for the general masses who have recently started experiencing this pain. Okay, so this is safe exercise which you can do at your home by simply placing your knees together. Okay, lie down straight, then raise your back. Okay, keep your hands straight here and support yourself. Hold this position for at least 15 to 20 seconds, and then you can put it down back. This you need to repeat at least 10 times. Or iske fir, once you start getting used to it, you can increase the number of counts. All right. The next thing that you can see, again, looking back into our very own culture that we've had, that is the asanas and the yogasanas we practice, that is Bhujangasana, a very common asana. Just make sure that you take up the appropriate posture. बहुत सारे लोग उसको हाइपर एक्सटेंड कर देते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा जितना जा सकते हो उतना चले जाते हो, उतना नहीं करना है. Okay, which is why you have to make sure that your shoulders are still down. Okay, fine. Lastly, we talk about the posture correction with the help of a wall. Now a wall is as straight as you would want to be. Okay, to keep your hunchback and your stooped shoulders straight, there's nothing better than a wall to help you out. If you do a little bit of squat along with it, it energizes and activates your knee muscles as well, right? So this is a good combination of an exercise which you can do for correcting your posture as well as strengthening your knees. So it is a sort of a wall squat that you can see here, right? So isme all you have to do is simply stand against the wall. थोड़ा दूर रखना है अपने पैरों को wall से. Okay, say around maximum 20-30 centimeters away from the wall. Okay, and then bend down with your back against the wall. Dheere dheere you have to lower your body until the point that you see that this thigh is parallel to the floor. Okay, so that is a proper wall squat. Make sure that these knees do not cross your foot. मतलब foot से ज़्यादा दूर नहीं जाना चाहिए, नहीं बहुत ज़्यादा bend knee से नहीं होना है. You just have to make sure that you're straight down. Okay, so this has to be your position like you sit in a chair. Exactly 90-90. All right, I hope this is understood. That's it from my end. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask them.
Thank you, Anuradha. That was a very wonderful, interactive, very wonderful session. And I think you have given a lot of information to us on the hunchback. I think I was correcting myself while I was sitting here, because nowadays we are so much into online meetings and consultation also, like you said. If you can stop sharing the screen, we'll start taking the questions as of now. One thing I would like to ask you, like you said, the hunchback thing, we also find a lot of rounding of the shoulders. We have all the shoulders which are into the forwards, and they are absolutely not into the sockets. So do you have any tips on that?
Yeah, like I was just discussing about the stoop posture thing. Both of these are associated.
Yeah.
Like when you tend to have a hunchback, you tend to have round shoulders. Then finally we end up like by the age of 50, 60, we see people completely hunched, right? So if you observe someone having a stoop posture, like I said, wall exercise is a great thing to do. Okay, just standing against the wall also and correcting yourself. You feel those scapula behind you, those two bones, right? The triangular bones. You feel them against the wall and you can try and correct them. You have to simply keep your shoulders back and stay in that position for at least 5 minutes. That is one thing to do. Apart from that, yes, you can go ahead with simple exercises like you keep your hands on your side and you take them behind and you hold it there. Feel the tension in your back. Try to activate the muscles of your back. Like we were discussing about the upper cross syndrome. In that, we were talking that the muscles of the back have gone weak. So we have to activate them. Once those are activated, automatically the posture will get corrected.
Correct. And there are some belts which are available, which they say that it generally tends to keep your upper back a little on the back side. So are they helpful for the children, and what they suggest?
See, we suggest these belts ourselves for people who have corrective deformities. मतलब जो short period of time में correct हो सकती है. But the point is, you cannot keep it for a very long time क्योंकि there is a chance of dependence. Okay, once you get dependent on it, again, जो हमारा point था कि muscle weak है, वो weak ही रहती है.
Okay.
So we want to work it out because without so you can just wear it overnight, or maybe when you're not working at all, तब तक के पहने for 1 or 2 hours just to keep yourself in the correct posture. That time it is okay. Otherwise, you have to go and work those muscles so that they are strong enough to stay in position.
Right. Especially, I wanted to ask for children, because nowadays I see a lot of girls or boys, they're stooped forwards, and they don't, right from the very young age, and then they don't tend to stand erect in a straight position. So wondering if the belt will help that. But I think you are right. It should be the dynamic process rather than, and it should be into the muscles that they all should stand or sit erect. Right. So as of now, I cannot find.
Just one thing what you can do with children is to keep them engaged into the activity. Give them a wand. They love to play with wands. वो एक दूसरे को डंडा जो रहता है ना, just that wand, and make them do this exercise where they take the wand behind them. So that way you're activating the muscles as well as you're trying to keep them in the correct posture where they keep their shoulders right where they should be.
Right. And also I would just like to add that sometimes the height of the chair, it doesn't match the children, the smaller children who are sitting for the online consultations I have seen. Their legs are hanging. So I think we should give some support to their feet so that, they are not wandering, and that will help them to correct their posture also. So thank you so much, Anuradha. Devish Patel sir, our chief guest, is still with us. I would like sir to add to this. Sir, if any comments? All right, probably he's not there. So thank you so much, Anuradha. It was a wonderful session with you. And now I would like to invite our secretary, Dr. Deepika Chandu, for her vote of thanks. You can unmute. Just a minute. Huh? Yeah, you can unmute, Deepika.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. I think somebody has just posted one question. What should be the position of your neck while writing? Can you just elaborate on that, Dr. Anuradha?
Yes, this is a topic that I was expecting to come up, because a lot of people have a dominance of either the right side or the left side. और ये चीज हम अगर ऑब्जर्व करोगे ध्यान से, तो जो लोग राइट से लिखते हैं they tend to get bent on the other side, और जो लोग लेफ्ट से लिखते हैं they bend on the other side, and this is again creating a disparity of your muscles. Again, same thing, tightness and lack of flexibility. These are the factors that are playing a role while you are writing. So make sure कि जब भी लिख रहे हो, I agree that you have that posture that you have to bend on this side, otherwise your handwriting won't come out as effective. I know that because we've been there writing exams. So what you can do from your end is simply take breaks. Even that will help. Apart from that, the workstation exercises that I have displayed, they apply to you as well, right? So if you have pain already, then go ahead with some other set of exercises, which will be simple shrugging exercises. And if you want to prevent it, simply take breaks and perform some workstation exercises.
Right. Thank you. Swati ma'am, should we proceed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Writing with complete bending or sitting straight. I don't know if that's a question from Varsha madam.
Yes.
I think she wanted to ask whether you should be writing with complete bending or sitting straight.
Ma'am, I think that we've already made that point कि people tend to adopt that posture कि बहुत ज़्यादा, because they feel comfortable getting supported from the table, right? But that is actually harming us, because again the muscles of your back are weak. Okay, they're not taking up your weight, and all of that weight is getting transferred to the muscles in the front. वो और tight होते चले जाते हैं, and then at a later stage they cause a lot of pain.
Yes.
So it is better to keep a good erect posture even while you write.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. And over to you, Deepika now.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. It was an honor to have ZBP Devish Patel sir as our chief guest for today's session. Thank you, sir, for your presence and inspiring words. It was an absolute pleasure for me, especially to thank our young speaker for today, JC Dr. Anuradha Puniyani, who's equally knowledgeable, and she's a voracious orator as well. So thank you for clearing our doubts on posture, and we are proud to have you on board at JCI Nagpur Medico, Anuradha. I would like to thank the past presidents who have joined us. Thank you to all the participants for being a part of this session. I request everyone to stay tuned for our forthcoming sessions of Know Thy Disease series at JCI Nagpur Medico. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepika. Sir has, I think, Devish, sir, do you want to speak something? You want to add something to this? We were asking for you.
No, nothing like that. Very, JCI Nagpur Medico is doing a wonderful job, and बहुत सारे sessions आपके attend करते रहता हूँ.
Thank you, sir. We are blessed. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to share with all our participants that our next series on the next lecture of our series on Tuesday is going to be on eye care, which is again very important, where Dr. Kavita Dangra, ophthalmologist, she is going to share with us about the eye care in Corona and the common eye diseases and how we can prevent it. So stay tuned, and all the details will be shared with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. With the kind permission, I'm ending the meet.